Kakbushundi arrived under the banyan tree and saw the eager faces of his audience. A most exciting part of the story was going to unfold. Mentally invoking Sri Ram, Kakbushundi began. The monkeys had reached the seashore and they could see Lanka in the distance. But they had no boats. So how were they going to cross the sea? The trouble with monkeys is that they are easily enthused, but they are equally easily discouraged. Now, sitting on the seashore, they became dejected and utterly pessimistic. Remember, even though the monkeys were partial incarnations of Devtas, when they incarnate, they have to play their role just as an actor must play the role he accepts to do. Fortunately for the monkeys, Jambavan was there. He reminded them that they were doing Sri Ram's work and that Sri Ram was no ordinary mortal. He was doing a Leela and everything was under his control. He could easily accomplish his own work, but he was giving them an opportunity to serve. That was a great blessing. So they had no reason to fear anything. All they needed was faith. In this way, Jambavan was able to restore the morale of the monkeys. Here, Kakbushundi paused and said, "Now do you see how an older and wiser person's presence is important?" This statement was met with tweets and trills of agreement. As the monkeys were talking in this way, continued Kakbushundi, an old vulture slowly emerged from a cave nearby. His name was Sampati, and he had no wings. He had overheard the conversation of the monkeys, and when he saw so many of them just sitting by the sea, dejected and waiting to die, he loudly exclaimed, "I have been starving since so many days. Today Bhagwan is providing me with abundant food in one go." Hearing that, the monkeys were terrified because the sight of a vulture is inauspicious, and if it hovers around any creature, one can assume that the creature is going to die. When Angad saw the vulture waiting to eat them, he was instantly reminded of another vulture, Jatayu, and he exclaimed how blessed Jatayu was. He had given his life trying to save Sita Devi, and for such selfless and fearless seva, Sri Ram had sent him to his own abode, Saket Dham. As soon as Sampati heard Jatayu's name and that he had sacrificed his life for Sri Ram, he cried out that Jatayu was his younger brother and that he was getting news of him after a very long time. Sampati dragged himself towards the monkeys, for his wings were very feeble, and he asked them to tell him the whole story of Jatayu. Angad told him of the great service that Jatayu had rendered Sri Ram, and Sampati felt most proud of his brother. Sampati then asked to be taken right next to the water, for he wanted to offer Tilanjali to his brother. Tilanjali is a libation of sesame seeds and water that is offered to the dead. It is part of the funeral rites among Hindus. So Sampati was taken to the water by the monkeys, and he did what he needed to do, even though Jatayu's last rites had already been performed by Sri Ram himself. Human beings, said Kakbushundi, are not aware of the fact that we birds too mourn our dead and perform rites for them. they have so much to learn about other creatures. Then Sampati told the monkeys his own story. He and Jatayu were two brothers who had been very devoted to each other. Remember, said Kakbhushundi, this theme of two brothers is a recurring one in the Ramayana. We have Ram and Lakshman, Bharat and Shatrughan, Jatayu and Sampati, Vali and Sugriv, Ravan and Vibhishan. So once Jatayu and Sampati had wanted to measure the height of the sky. Flying off together, they soared higher and higher. After a while, Jatayu felt tired, and saying that it was impossible to measure the sky, he came down. Sampati, however, continued his flight upwards. But as he rose higher, the heat of the sun burnt his wings and he came crashing down. A kind Muni called Chandrama, seeing him, felt sorry for him and took him under his wing. He taught him that the sky was immeasurable and that he should not be so proud of his physical strength. His sorry state was because of attachment to the body and pride in it. The Muni advised Sampati to give up false pride and to place his mind in Bhagwan. He made him understand that his real nature was different to the body. He helped Sampati distinguish between the Atman or the true self and all the other matter layers of the body, mind and intellect that constitute the non-self and which are temporary and constantly changing. All this had taken place in Satya Yuga. Sampati eventually gained the knowledge, but the Muni said that he now had a duty to perform. In Treta Yuga, which is the Yuga that follows Satya Yuga, he said, Bhagwan would take avatar as Sri Ram and his wife would be kidnapped by a Rakshasa. Sri Ram would then send several monkeys in search of her. When Sampati met these monkeys, he would have to render service to them by telling them the whereabouts of Sita Devi. Then he would be purified and would grow new wings. Only then would his mission in this world be over and he would be able to go to Hari Dham, the abode of Lord Vishnu. As you know, Sri Ram is an avatar of Lord Vishnu who is also referred to as Hari. Sampati declared that the Muni's words had all come true. He assured the monkeys that they would most certainly succeed in their mission. There was no reason for them to lose heart. Even as he was telling his story, new wings began to sprout on his body. Everyone was amazed. Then, before Kakbhushundi could say anything further, the wise owl asked, "What do we learn from the story of Sampati?" He himself did not have the answer, but he knew that each story had a deeper meaning, and he was keen to know about this one. Kakbhushundi was amused. The audience had obviously understood that the deeper meaning of the story was more important than the story itself. From Sampati's tale, said Kakbhushundi, we learn that Bhagwan can never be realized by our physical strength, intelligence, or logic. In short, by our own abilities. Therefore, setting aside all pride, we should approach a guru, and only then can this knowledge be attained. Garuda was mesmerized by this explanation, and he bowed down to Kakbhushundi, who was truly a great guru. As the king of birds, Garuda too had developed false pride because of his own abilities, and so Lord Shiva had sent him to Kakbhushundi to listen to the story. And what an exalting experience this was for him, evening after evening. Garuda was filled with immense joy and gratitude.